this is Peter Tagtgren from Pain, and you're listening to the Dan Shan Show on Hard Rock Hell Radio.
Hey Peter, how are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
I believe you're in beautiful sunny Santorini.
Yeah, exactly. Just relaxing after being done with Hypocrisy album, Pain singles, and another project that will come out. So I figure I earned to go away for a few days.
You deserve it. Listen, I'm going to start off Party in My Head. What a banger. It's a right summer tune. It's right in my head. Great track, right?
Yeah, I think it works.
It does work. And it was written about the struggles for everyone during the pandemic. How did you handle it personally? Because obviously Sweden didn't do what most of the world did.
Yeah, Sweden is totally the opposite. I don't know if it was smart or not, but if you look at percentage of people dying, I don't think it was that smart, to be honest. You know, mainly it was the elderly people that suffered, because the people at these elderly homes and stuff, they didn't get the information how to take care of things, you know. So they spread like crazy. But in the end, yeah, it is what it is. And I mean, for me, I live far out in the woods. I mean, I'm a hillbilly. I have like 4 houses around me in like a 3-kilometer area, kind of. So, I mean, for me, it was the same shit. The only thing that was kind of bad was, you know, when you went to see your parents, you know, you had to stand on the footstep for a year and a half. Even in the summer, in the winter, you know, it didn't really matter. So,
the worst bit.
But now they got 2 vaccines a couple of months ago, so I mean, we're hanging out now, so that's good.
The main thing. That's the main thing. And this song is your first original song in 5 years. Was the delay of new tracks down to your other busy schedule?
Oh yeah, I mean, I did a lot of tour. I mean, from the last album till now, I did 3 Hypocrisy tours. I don't know, 4 or 5 Pain tours. Did 2 Lindemann tours. So, and plus some albums in there in between. So yeah, I mean, it's not easy to fit everything. If you want to do something good, you know, you have to make sure your mind is, you know, focused on what you're doing and not having 1,000 things in the air at the same time, I would say.
Of course. How did you get Joe Lynn Turner involved in this track?
We were, well, he's just appearing in the video.
Yeah,
of course.
He's on the video, yeah, of course, yeah.
It was just, I mean, he lives in Minsk, and we went to Minsk to do the video because we couldn't really go anywhere else.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're good friends, so I told him to stop by, and somehow, I guess, the director kind of put him in there. He's like, hey, you want to show up for a second or so? And he's like, sure. Because he was hanging out while we were filming anyhow, so he was at the shooting anyhow.
He looks cool anyway, doesn't he, in those situations?
Oh yeah, definitely, man.
And you're channeling your inner Big Lebowski in the video. Was it fun to film? You know, you're always having a laugh, aren't you?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, I'm a big Lebowski fan, so when the director wanted to put in a few things in there, you know, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. You know, that I have nothing against that, for sure. It's one of the greatest movies ever.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, having been to Sweden a few times myself, you have to have a party in your head anyway because the drinks are so expensive.
Yeah. Or you make moonshine yourself, you know.
Is that right? Well, I saw your Instagram live last Friday night for an hour, and you must have had about 1,000 quid's worth of buddy drinks on your table.
Oh yeah, it was worth it, you know. It was a party. So, I mean, we just like to associate with the fans, you know, and not try to be rock stars and shit like that. You know,
that's
because cool. I think it's retarded. I think it's better to be close to people because you will learn a lot from the fans as well. You know, they can give you points on don't do this or do that, you know, and you take that into consideration and you value that when you do the next time you do something, so to say.
Absolutely.
You know?
So you're gaining advantages all the time from their feedback.
Yeah, definitely. For sure.
I mean, one more thing I've got to say about this track, right? Thank you so much for not rhyming brain with insane.
Hey, yeah. I mean, I hope I grew away from these, we call them emergency rhymes, you know?
Emergency, I love it.
Yeah, because it's, you know, it gets too stupid. Sometimes I mean, especially on the new Hypocrisy album, I really don't want to rhyme on something that's obvious. You know, it's then I'd rather not rhyme at all.
Yeah.
You know, because I think it's cool not to rhyme all the time.
Yeah, I agree.
Why do you have to do that?
I agree. Now, what do you talk about writing? What do you prefer to write about? You know, the serious issues or the fun, tongue-in-cheek style?
I would say with Pain, it can be all of that, to be honest. Because for me, it's just things that I think about or things that I'm around or experience. I usually write about with Pain. It can be about everything. I guess it's like personal, but I try to make it not personal. I'll try to make it that people can get into and can relate to. You know, because we're all humans. You know, we are what we are.
Because you once said that music is music and it shouldn't be political. Do you still stand by this, even in this day and age?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say my sayings like for the new Hypocrisy album, for instance, you know, a song called Chemical Whore. It's about the pharmacy industry, you know, how they control you by telling you need these medicine because otherwise you're not going to be well. You know, the only thing they think about is really your money and not your health. Yeah. See, I rhymed.
Yes.
Well, you know what I mean? You know, if that's political, I don't know. But I'm just saying from my point of view how I see shit.
Yeah, and also you're with your influences. You also once said, taking more quotes from you, that your head's a garbage can, meaning to get all the influence from everything around you, right?
Yeah, I'm like a jukebox, you know, since early 70s. And it's all this stuff is still in there. And I guess that forms me how I write music, you know. Anything from, you know, Elvis Presley, Bo Diddley, Beatles, Stones, Zeppelin, and so on, you know, and then, you know, up in the 70s and you name it, Bowie, and Sweet and Slade and stuff like that. Yeah. So, I mean, that's what formed me, and I guess I write in that kind of way. I don't know.
And a bit of Kiss thrown in there as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. That was the 70s showing up, you know.
Yeah.
So in the 80s, you know, it was definitely you know, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, and Venom, of course. You know, that's when I started getting into more extreme music. When I thought, you know, Judas and Maiden is getting a little bit too soft. But, you know, when you start to get extreme and getting into the image and things like that, you know, and then Possessed and. Yeah, Possessed, Celtic Frost came, so now it becomes a new genre and things like that. So I guess it's just a natural love. But I always had my radar out on radio and things that came out and stuff. So a lot of ABBA, I guess. You know?
So with that all in mind, obviously with other people writing songs, you seem to enjoy covering songs, including the new cover of the Rolling Stones classic Give Me Shelter. Do you have a list of ones to tick off, or do they just come randomly? I mean, you've covered the Beatles, Bjork, Depeche Mode in the past. What's next?
I don't know. When it happens, it goes fast, you know? So I really don't know. I actually did this Give Me Shelter as... I actually recorded it like the original because I wanted to take up my Telecaster and twang a little bit, so to say, and just jam it. And then half a year ago or something like that, I was just, wait a minute, this lyrics, man, it's pretty... in time today. I mean, then it was the Cold War and Vietnam and stuff. Yeah. And today it's all the riots and all the chaos that's out there. So I figured like, hey, let's do a video with all these madness going on around the world. And I put a little paint twing on it, so to say.
So do you like just hear a track in the car and go, that one? Or do you already know what you want to do? Did this come to you randomly?
I think it's things that's always been in your past, you know, or something that really hits you. I mean, first time I heard Eleanor Rigby when I was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old or whatever, it was so dark. And now I figure this is the first Gothic song ever written in my book. You know?
Yeah, I like it.
So that one stuck to my heart for a long time until I dared to try to cover it. So it's usually I'm impressed of the song, something from the past or something that grabbed me and never let go. So that's really how I choose my covers, I would say.
Yeah. Now, I love your production. You produced some of the biggest names in metal: Amon Amarth, Dimmu Borgir, Immortal, Sabaton and Children of Bodom, and many more. That's an incredible discography. Do you take anything on, and how much work do you have to turn down?
I haven't had. I actually had to turn down the last Sabaton album because I was so burned out. You know, I mean, it's one of the biggest things. You know, and I was just not there, and I just wanted to be honest and say I can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm totally, because I was burned out even 2015, but I just kept on going. You know, so in the end, it was just too much, and also Lindemann took a lot of time for me. You know, so I just had to decline it. So, but I think they went. It went good for them anyhow for the last album.
That's good. What I've heard, yeah. You've always had some pretty cool imagery. Are they from your brain, or are they from a creative team?
I don't know. Well, what kind of image do you mean?
Well, I mean, like your album covers. You know, it's always a strong image with Pain.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I think this Painhead came out by accident in like 2007 or 8 or something like that. And we just tried to develop it a little bit, you know, like Maiden's doing with Eddie, but, you know, in this kind of huge scale. And management started to, I got a new manager for the last 2 years. So she got into it and started figuring out things and contacting people like, hey, let's do fun with this character. So,
now, going back to Sweden, what's in the water in Sweden to keep producing incredible music? Not just the rock and metal, but across all genres. Sweden just loves the music, right? What's with it?
I have no clue. If I only knew. I really don't know what it is. But yeah, you're right. There's a lot of good stuff coming out and has been in the 70s and so on. I really don't know what it is, to be honest. I mean, when I was a kid like 15, 16, you could always get some money from the government, you know, if you were 5 guys meeting 2 hours per day.
That's cool.
3, yeah. I don't know how to translate the word for it, but they gave you some money, you know, so you could pay rent for wherever your rehearsal place was. And, you know, when you finally got enough money, you know, over a year or 2, you can go somewhere and do a demo.
That's a good incentive, right? That's a good incentive.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I my guilty pleasures. I think my 2 guilty pleasures are from Sweden. That's the Cardigans and Roxette.
Yeah,
great songwriting.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good songwriters there, right there, man. That's for sure. Now, I was actually on Cardigans. Me and Cardigan, E-Type, and a couple of other bands were on the same label. It was owned by Universal 50%, and this other guy that you remember, Secret Service from Sweden. This guy who sings there, he started a record label, like in the end of 80s and stuff. So I ended up on that, and that was fun to meet these people, you know.
Good music circle. So now we had the Eurovision Song Contest a few weeks ago. What's your views on Eurovision? Because I've always thought I could see you banging out a Swedish entry, or you know, maybe either write it or perform it. Are you pro it or against it?
For me, it just looked like a big mess just to try to be in the spotlight, you know, for a couple of days. So I mean, if I would write a song, sure, why not? But I do not want to show my face there.
I can just hear your electro sound coming on that stage, though, somewhere, doing that.
You never know. But like I said, I would never put my face in there.
Now, your son Sebastian's your drummer. And how proud of you are of him? Because, you know, it must be pretty special turning around and seeing him performing on stage with you and also in the studio. Because I remember speaking to Phil Campbell a few months ago, and he was talking about his bastard sons and how special it is.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I remember, I think the first time me and him played live together was like, there was another band who had a release party of their new album, and he asked me if I could play a couple of Pain songs, a couple of Hypocrisy songs. And I said, yeah, but I don't have the band here, you know. And he's like, yeah, but the singer said, I can jump in and play guitar, and our bass player can play. You just need to find a drummer. And I asked my son, he was like 14 or something like that. He said, can you play Fractured Millennium, Roswell 47, and Shut Your Mouth, and a couple of more songs? I actually have a video film. So yeah, no problem. So he went into the studio and he rehearsed for a week, and then we did it, you know?
Yeah, that's cool.
That was the first time. And then when he finally got of age, I asked him if he wanted to play drums on the latest Pain album that came out 2016. And then also, of course, when he had his agent, I brought him on tour.
Special.
So he's been my drummer. And anything I record, he's in it.
Now, in the video, I've got to go back to Pot in My Head. I noticed that the Pain Alien is back at the end. Now, you're into your conspiracy theories, aren't you? Is it a fascination for you? Is it light, or do you sit watching hours of YouTube vids?
I'm digging into it. It never ends, because to watch the news, it's just, for me, like, it's boring. I see so much hypocrites and shit like that. So I really don't want to see any more news because it's just insane. I mean, how the leaders are. I mean, they're all retarded. And how can they supposedly taking care of the country when they're so stupid, all of them?
The thing is that you're lucky, though, because Scandinavia, in general, has a better leadership than most of the world.
No.
Have I got it wrong?
Yeah, you got it very wrong. I mean, I'll put them all on the same plate. There's fucking retards. We found out some of these people in Sweden. We saw their grades from high school and stuff like that. And holy shit, what makes you be able to be like a prime minister or whatever? What doesn't? So you don't need any grades. You don't need to know anything. You just have to have a big mouth, I guess. Yeah. So it's. I mean, politics. Don't get me into it. I can't stop. And then look on the other side of the lake. This. I don't know what he is. He's just he doesn't know where he is. Right. But I guess there's other people pulling the strings for him. They just wait until he drops dead, and then vice president is going to come in and so on.
I can see why you.
But in the end,
I can see why you keep politics at your music now.
Yeah, and then you see who's pulling the strings on all these people that we see. There's a lot of shit behind it.
Yeah.
That we don't know.
Of course.
That we don't see. They put a puppet in the front. So, yeah, that's politics for me.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
To conspiracy, I love to not have any proof if there is any aliens around us. I know there is in the universe because you have trillions of galaxies with stars like sun. So if there's a planet close enough and blah, 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 but how do they travel back and forth? You don't know. If they're 100 years advance of us or 1,000 years,
they've got the technology.
Maybe it's possible.
Yeah, it is.
So,
yeah.
So I will believe it when I stand face to face,
Now, you said that more women like Pain than men. Do you think it's the electronic element or the fact that you've been compared to Johnny Depp?
No, I was hoping it was something with the music, to be honest, man.
Why is that, do you think?
With the music?
Well, obviously, yeah.
I guess it's easier to get into, maybe. I mean, it gets, compared to Hypocrisy, Pain is more commercial for sure, So, I guess it's, I don't know, but I see the difference when I'm on stage and look in the crowd. There's a big difference, sure, between these two.
Yeah. Now, keeping it light, are you a sports fan? Are you watching the Euros? Old Sweden?
No.
You're not interested?
No.
I thought you were...
Hockey, yeah.
Hockey, I thought I'd seen you with a hockey shirt, but not football, no?
No. Of course, you support your country, of course. But
keep you on.
I don't really sit there and watch. Nothing happens on football for me.
It's got slower because the defenders are getting better, so there's less goals. It seems to be more of a. It's quite frustrating to watch sometimes. So, what's next for you? A new Pain album, full tour?
What's coming out now is actually the next Hypocrisy album is showing up later in later this year. I don't know exactly when, but there will be some singles out before the album comes up. It will definitely be this year.
Right.
So while this is working itself, I'm gonna lock myself in the studio and write the new Pain album. I would say
for next year. Because next year,
yeah, hopefully like mid next year or first half at least. I would love to have, because. Why sit home and roll your thumbs when waiting for Hypocrisy to be able to go out and play and do the promotion for it and stuff? I might as well just start writing music again.
So with the Pain thing, did you feel you wanted to get a couple of tracks out there without an album in sight, just to get the Pain back out there, sort of thing?
Yeah, I think, you know, I don't want you to forget about me. So I want to put out a few songs, and with Pain, this genre, maybe it's not necessary to get an album right away. You know, I definitely want to do an album because I'm an old-fashioned dude. You know, some people say, "Hey, you can just do singles." You know, and I'm like, yeah, but I want to do an album as well. You know, so maybe I'll do one more single, or maybe two more before it's time for Hypocrisy. I don't know yet, but it depends how fast I work.
Exciting. And this is, this is going to be a tough question for you, right? I apologise. Well, what one song or album do you think sums Pain up the best? That one song that you think has the full essence of what the band is all about?
Oof, that's a good question. I mean, every album always sounds different from each other. I never find my genre. I just keep on writing. So I guess I develop as a songwriter in different ways in different years, I would say. So I don't know. Party in My Head is a good example, because
if aliens came down, if the aliens came down and said, "What's Pain?" you'd play that track, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That's good. Perfect. Well, Peter, thanks so much for joining me today. I'm very grateful. I'm looking forward to obviously more tracks and seeing you live again as soon as possible.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. And I hope to see you guys in UK.